Good morning and welcome to the DFS Army YouTube channel. I'm Razzle11 and you can find me on X at Razzle11Grinds. Going to take a look at the pitching for today, the 28th of September. It is Saturday. We actually have three separate slates, which I don't really understand, but whatever. Um, 4 game early, 3 game afternoon, 7 game main slate this evening. I will just touch on the two early slates just to give a quick look, but we'll spend more time on the main slate this evening. I believe the only weather to worry about is on this very early slate, so um, shouldn't be too much to deal with. I am looking at DraftKings as that is where a majority of my action is. If you play on FanDuel, I would cut my pool into a half or even a third. Just don't have to be as creative. Pricing isn't as tight, and obviously scoring system being different. With that said, let's just jump right in. We get an intriguing matchup right at the top with Skeens versus Luis Gil. Uh, the Yankees do need another win to clinch home field. Uh, Skeens pitching for potentially the NL Rookie of the Year award. Very interesting matchup. I did see the Yankees lineup. It's without Glaber, but Stanton and Judge are back in with Soto. Looks pretty normal. Um, yeah, I mean, Skeens hasn't struck out double digits since early July. Uh, kind of been just more cruising, really. Obviously, elite, big time upside. I prefer the Luis Heel side of the matchup for obvious reasons, but Heel is more volatile for sure. Uh, Higher walk rate. Ks aren't as guaranteed at this point. Just the easier matchup. He is a minus 130 favorite. This game has a total of 7 with juice on the under. Uh, Not sure we can say we see games in Yankee Stadium with totals at 7 uh, very often. So Heels K prop 5.5, juice strongly on the over. Skeens is at 6.5 with juice on the over as well. So um, recent trends would say Skeens. Matchup itself would say Luis Heel in this particular game. There is supposed to be some rain in New York, but it should be fine. The toughest spot would be in Detroit for the White Sox and Tigers. Um, Other names, Rhett Louders look pretty decent. Not showcasing big K upside by any means. Just a K prop of 3.5 with juice on the over. Slight underdog, but game total of 7 in Wrigley tells me it's probably pretty windy blowing in. So I'm certainly going to be using Louder. Maybe we have to use Hendricks. Probably not. Um, but I mean, it's possible. He went into Coors and put up his best start of the year. And if he does that in this matchup, then he's definitely going to be in the winning lineup. But really, that's it. I mean, I like Yariel Rodriguez, but they're not letting him throw more than 80 pitches, basically. Um, and the Marlins offense has exploded recently. So maybe Yariel as a dart throw, GPP wise. K prop a 5.5 for him. Juice is on the under, but still, a 5.5 K prop is interesting. Um, Enough to where maybe he's the fifth guy you use on this slate, but it's not all that exciting. Flip over to the afternoon slate here. I think Washington needs to win yet, or not Washington, Philadelphia. Sorry. Um, Home field battle in the NL with the Dodgers. The other two games don't mean anything, but still, we do have guys that are very prideful and very much focused on their bottom line, which I think Blake Snell falls into that category. He's very much focused on the money. Um, he's been phenomenal in the second half of the season. Pitching in San Francisco, we know we love taking pitchers in San Francisco. I do not see a K prop for Blake Snell because DraftKings Sportsbook actually has Tristan Beck starting, so we're gonna have to pay attention there. I like Snell for the upside. Tougher matchup, but still plenty of upside. Shouldn't say tougher matchup. It's just not a strong K matchup against St. Louis. But we know how elite that Blake Snell can be. Zach Wheeler against the Nationals. 2-0 against them this year. Barely getting hit. Strikeouts are not as high as you would expect. Uh, Obviously, in play, a minus 205 favorite. Like I mentioned, Philadelphia does need to kind of win. K prop is 6.5, but juices on the under. Really want to play the two guys at the top. Want to sprinkle in some Gore. Uh, it's been up and down against Philly. It's up and down overall all season long. He's been really strong the last couple of starts, and actually 4 out of his last 5. Uh, so plenty of upside for Mackenzie Gore. K prop of 5.5. Juice is slightly on the under, but he's a volatile piece, but obviously ton of upside. Shane Baz, this guy that I think has more upside than he actually shows. I don't know, maybe he's just not that big of a K guy. Um, I envision that he should have, K upside to 8, 9, but he's only maxed out at 7 once. Generally a 5 to 6K guy. Looking at his K prop, it's sitting at 5.5. So we're kind of in that range. He's a slight road dog, but uh, interesting spot just because obviously we know Devers isn't in the lineup for Boston, so the lineup could be a little weaker. Carter Crawford struggled against Tampa Bay the one time he faced them. Uh, has a home run issue. Uh, has a couple of decent starts over his last 4. He's actually favored in this one, a minus 122 favorite. His K props at 5.5, but juices on the under. Even though he definitely has more K upside than Baz does. Um, I think we just want to mix them in. I mean, you probably talk me into using Palate too. Back to back, really, really strong starts pitching in San Francisco. It's pretty rare, but I think on this 3-gamer, I would probably just mix in everybody. Um, Maybe try to go underweight on the Boz Crawford combo. But I think I would utilize everybody. Now on to the main slate here. Interesting spot. We get Ronaldo Lopez making his return again from a second IL stint. Um, it's a big spot for Atlanta. Kansas City clinched, but I think they still need to win. Um, Being able to host, or not host, but avoid Baltimore, maybe. I have to look at the standings again, but um, yeah. So Lopez, important spot, but obviously coming back. Number of pitches is always questionable, but I mean he did return from his first IL stint after nearly a month and throw 90 pitches right out of the gate. Here we're looking at 2.5 weeks ago, so uh, maybe he's perfectly fine for us. His K prop's just 3.5 with juice on the over, but he is a minus 205 favorite in this one, so I think he comes into play for us. Seth Lugo, I would guess that they don't push him more than 6 innings. Uh, it's been a near lock to get 7+ innings over the last month and a half or so. Um, I'm just not going to pick on Atlanta's offense. So just because I believe that they're going to step up. That's what I like to believe as a former baseball player. Um, Dangerous offense. I thought they'd do a lot more last night, which is a little annoying. Um, but anyways, let's switch games here. I don't know why Canning is so expensive as an opener, but Yamamoto do need to pick up a win. Um, his numbers against Colorado haven't been great. His last start was against Colorado. Um, his last 2 starts, the strikeouts just haven't been there. Um, he's up to 79 pitches. Probably see him maybe approach 85 to 90. And we know that this is a matchup that we've been picking on for quite some time. K prop of 5.5 with juice on the over. So Vegas believes that he's going to be staying in the game enough. He's a minus 250 favorite. So I am going to be interested in him at this point. Quintana in a must win for the Mets. I'm going to have some interest just because, like, he's been phenomenal over the last month and a week, allowing just one earned run over his last 5 starts. Just coming in elite form. Obviously, the Brewers got to Sean Manaea a bit yesterday. Right now, it is sitting as a pick'em. Not a big K guy. K prop of 4.5 with juice on the under. But I love the spot. I think he has 25 to 30 upside. So somebody that I want to utilize on this slate. Andrew Haney taking on his former squad. I am interested. He's had some struggles against them, but he's racked up some strikeouts as well. Recent form, not the greatest, but the last time he faced them, dominated them for 25 fantasy points. K prop of 5.5, juices on the under, but he is a minus 148 road favorite. So I think he just makes a ton of sense, even though they have nothing to play for. Suarez against the Twins, I'm a little interested. I'm not overly interested, but he did shut him down the one time he faced him. He has been better on the road this season, and the Twins appear to have completely given up. Obviously, they were eliminated yesterday, so yeah, I just don't know how much Suarez will pitch. Probably 4 to 5 innings, maybe a little more. I don't know that he's going to be part of their postseason rotation, but maybe he will be. Probably a lot depends on what the status of Grayson Rodriguez is. So something we want to look into a little bit. Eduardo Suarez, or Rodriguez, not Suarez. Rodriguez, plenty of K upside out of himself, just not K upside in this matchup against San Diego. Arizona does need to win, so it is a big spot. So I might want to sprinkle some in for him. He is a minus 185 favorite. K prop of 4.5 with juice very slightly on the under, so that tells you quite a bit there. Emerson Hancock, just not somebody I get excited about. It's a good matchup, but he just doesn't rack up strikeouts all that much. Allows base runners. It's not really a good combination for DraftKings. He's only shown a ceiling of about 20 fantasy points. So it's real questionable. K prop's 4.5 with juice on the over, though. And he is a minus 148 favorite. So maybe he can sneak in just because our pitcher pool on this slate is kind of weak overall. Zebby Matthews, talented pitcher, but it's probably not a spot, even though Baltimore can be had with strikeouts at times. Griffin Canning dominated a weak White Sox team, actually dominated against the Dodgers team, which is kind of shocking. Maybe, but I just don't know. He's an underdog at home. His K prop is 4.5, basically a pick 'em. Probably not going to get there. It is kind of an ugly slate. Coming down to the end of the season, we have to be kind of careful with what we're going for. Try to pay attention to any news that they pop out that they might only throw a guy 4 or 5 innings, etc. So, but there we have it. There's a first look at pitching. If you enjoy what I bring to you, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, turn the notification bell on, get the alert anytime we drop videos here at DFS Army. If you want to join us and get access to our coaches, tools, sheets, Discord, etc., I will put links in the description below. You can use promo code RAZ, that's R-A-Z, for 10% off monthly. And as always, best of luck, everybody.